Today we're going to dive into a really fascinating piece of educational material. It's just a single lesson from a 6th grade curriculum, but it tackles a core math concept in a way you've probably never seen before. Okay, let's just get right into it. So let me start by asking you a question, a really simple one that gets right to the heart of this. When you multiply two numbers together, does the answer always get bigger? Think about it for a second. Your first instinct is probably, yeah, of course, right? And most of the time, you'd be right. 4 times 3 is 12. The number gets bigger. But that's not the whole story. What about 12 times 1/2? Well, that's 6. The number actually got smaller. And this little twist is the exact idea our source material is all about. So where did we find this? Let's take a look at our source, a pretty unique lesson plan from a 6th grade math curriculum. The lesson's official goal, and this is pulled directly from the document, really shows you its special approach. It says, students will explore this idea without actually computing. That's the key. This isn't about crunching numbers. It's about building an intuition, a gut feeling for how it works. So yeah, the whole point is to understand without having to do the math. It's about grasping the why, the simple principle that when you multiply by a fraction, you're really just taking a piece of the original number. Let's just break that down. Multiplying by a fraction that's less than 1 just means you're taking a part of whatever you started with. And if you're only taking a part of something, well, the result has to be smaller than the whole thing. It's a really simple but powerful idea. Okay, let's make this visual. Imagine we start with the number 12. And this illustrates the idea perfectly. Multiplying 12 by 3/4 is just another way of saying you want 3/4 of 12. See? We've split our whole thing into 4 pieces and we're only taking 3 of them. You don't need to calculate anything to see that you're going to end up with less than you started with. Now let's see how the lesson actually builds on this. And this is where it gets really unique. To make this abstract idea feel more concrete, the source uses biblical stories as math problems. So here's the first example, word for word from the lesson plan. Jacob had 12 sons. If the number of sons is multiplied by 3/4, will it increase or decrease? Notice, the focus isn't on how many sons you end up with, just on the direction of the change. And the answer, according to the lesson? It's simple. Since 3/4 is less than 1 whole, the quantity has to decrease. No calculation needed. The next problem follows the exact same pattern. Joseph's 7 years of storing grain multiplied by 2/3. Increase or decrease? Since 2/3 is less than 1, the number of years will, of course, decrease. You see the pattern here? And we've got one last one. The Israelites gathered manna for 6 days. What happens if you multiply that by 3/4? By now, the pattern is crystal clear. The quantity must decrease. The lesson just hammers this one single intuitive point home by using these familiar stories over and over. But then we get to the homework. And this is where we find a fascinating little paradox, a surprising twist. The homework assignment follows the exact same rule as the lesson. The students are given a list of problems, and the number one instruction is to figure out the outcome without computing. But here's the paradox. Check out the official answer key that's provided in the source material. After an entire lesson built around the idea of not computing, the answers, well, they include the exact computations. It's a really unexpected twist, right? It provides the very thing it told the students to avoid. So, what can we take away from all this? Let's zoom out for a second and think about what this kind of quirky approach tells us about learning itself. The crucial point here is that context makes abstract ideas concrete. By putting a math rule inside of stories that students might already know, like stories about Jacob's sons or years of grain, the lesson makes the concept feel real and intuitive. And the source material really reinforces this whole contextual approach right up to the very end. It actually concludes the entire lesson with a Bible verse. This just further grounds the whole exercise in a very specific cultural and narrative framework. Okay, so let's just quickly recap what we've seen in this little case study. First, the core math idea. Multiplying by a fraction less than 1 always makes a number smaller. Second, this source teaches that idea intuitively by telling students to forget about computing. Third, it uses familiar biblical stories to make an abstract idea feel concrete. And finally, all of this just goes to show how powerful context and storytelling can be as tools for learning. And that brings us to our final thought.
I mean, this was a very specific and maybe for some, a very unusual way to teach math. So it kind of makes you wonder, what's the most unusual or memorable way you ever learned something? What story or context made a really difficult concept finally click for you? It's something to think about.